Welcome to my latest how to repair video. This is for a throw electric blanket by DreamCatcher Futura, UK firm, and it is 1.6 metre by 1.2 metre, and the code for it is DETB 160. It has a timer on it from 1 to 9 hours, and it has heat settings from 0 up to 9. Now I recommend that when you dismantle the control, which this video does contain close-ups on how to fault find on it. The initial fault on this blanket was it didn't heat up, but there's no need to go anywhere to check the blanket because the remote control handset did not light up. It's got two 7-segment displays in it. So I'll now go through the setup on how to check, starting with the mains fuse. Remember, I would not recommend having this plugged into the mains because the whole printed board will be elevated at 240 volts, whatever you touch in it. And if you happen to be touching it and anywhere else of your body is on earth, you will get electrocuted. You must have an isolation transformer feeding this device. So just do the test that I'm showing in this video and you won't go far wrong, and enjoy. Thank you very much. So I'm just going to do the obvious and check the third where it's there. I think be interesting to see what they've put in here, because quite frankly I don't think it should be a 13. No, that's okay. Can you see that? It's a 5 amp fuse. That's about right. Personally I put 3 in there, but there we go. We'll check the fuse. Okay, so the fuse is okay. Now I've actually now going to dismantle the unit. Here we are on the table. I've got this thing plugged in, but when we switch it on, absolutely nothing. So I'm now going to switch it off and unplug it, as these things can be quite dangerous. There's no earth on them, just a 2-wire comes in on the mains here, the mains lead. Anyway, there's one thing which is different that you may be aware of or may not, but you will need this type of screwdriver. Now on the end here is not a normal Posi or Phillips. It's the same sort of design as a Phillips, but it's only 3 and not 4 sectioned. Here is the head of one of the 4 fixing screws. You can see it's triangular, and your 4-way normal Posi or Phillips will not fit. So make sure you've got the correct screwdriver, because they are quite tight. Once you've removed them, of course, you can keep them not quite as tight as the machine that assembled these. I thought I'd just show you that if you're not aware of this particular design. It's got temperature, time, high, 2 offs, so wherever it is you can switch it either way, which is quite handy. In this window here is an LED 7-segment display. I haven't got a clue what it reads because since I've had it, it's not actually worked. So I'm now going to do some tests on the printed board back here. Right, the next thing is just to take this board out. Nothing holds it in, there are no screws. Just release the end, which has got the mains plug on it, and release the other end, and this just comes away. Now be careful, there's this little switch thing that actually slides in there, okay, and that locates with this switch here. It's central on. As I say, make sure you've unplugged all this before you fiddle with it. So let's have a look at this printed board. Okay, I've got the board out now. Right, well, first thing I look at here, there's a fuse here, and if any of you have seen my video how to repair the NEF warming drawer, this will be familiar to you. 1.0 microfarad capacitor, same voltage as the NEF, 250, 275. I always recommend 305 volts AC, but this is not going to get the heat that the warming drawer got, but I will test it, and I'll also test this fuse. So I'll get my DVM, I'll just do a quick check. Right, I'll have the buzzer going to help out, save me looking. Now I'm going to check this fuse. That's okay. It's a shame. Obviously not an easy job. I will check this capacitor. So I'll change the range and check that out. Really ought to remove this, because if there's any components, there is a resistor across it, and looking at the value of it, I think this will read high rather than low. So I've just got it on there now, but it's reading 1.5. Now this is a DVM, it's I will remove that, but the fact that it's reading 1.5, it's not low, so you know, obviously I don't think there's a problem on that. Now I've turned the board over. AC mains comes in here where my two probes are, and AC goes out this end, the other end, to the blanket, and that goes to this three-way plug. I've just removed it because having a blanket, it's a bit of a nuisance. Now if I trace the wires out, the neutral goes up there. Now also the mains here basically goes through the fuse and goes all the way up here to the on-off switch. And when I look, I see that when it's switched to the on, that's either end is connected here it goes to the same place. So if I turn it over, what have I got under here? I'll tell you what I have got. I've got two resistors and good old safety TF thermal fuse. So if I check that, I'll put this back on. What I'm doing here though, now under here I will remove this clip. Buzzing. Let's have a look at this thermal fuse. Absolutely nothing. Okay, look, let's remove this. I've got the thermal fuse, two resistors either side, 4.7k. Okay, look, I'm going to get my soldering iron and I'm going to, hopefully you can see, dig this out. Heat it up. I try not to burn myself. Ah, there we are. Can you see this? Oh, Christ, it's bloody hot. It's very hot, that is. Right, come on, my little boy. Right, just desoldered it. Fortunately, this is not a plated through hole. Otherwise, it wouldn't have come out as easy as that. What I have here, it's 2 amp, 102 degrees centigrade, 250 volt. I would say that's the fault. Now, if you do look at this, it's extremely well made, this. I mean, if you can see that, it's absolutely beautifully made. I just focus. It's beautifully made. There is a large scale integration in the middle there, this thing here. If there's anything wrong with that, no way, that's the brain. I wouldn't have thought so. The fact that the fuse is gone, probably work hardened. They're a bit hit and miss, quite frankly. It's there for safety to stop the control module, which is this here, melting. The fact is that this piece of plastic, which I'm holding in my hand, that went across these two resistors, there, went across there, would impart a bit of heat, but 102 degrees centigrade is only just above boiling water, so it's not going to scorch anything. So I'm hoping I'll order one of these, and I'm going to keep my fingers crossed, and I'm fairly confident that will be the fault. Here's the specification, the label that came with the replacement. I ordered this on eBay. There's lots of suppliers, but very few that give the 102 degrees centigrade at 2 amps. There's many that are 10 amp. Don't, whatever you do, make sure it's no more than 2 amps. 102 degrees centigrade, I was tempted to put 115 because I had a job to find the 102. I'm all in favour of putting the correct item in. My family's got 4 of these, so I've ordered 5, which came out to £9 something, and probably I won't ever use anymore, but nevertheless I've got some spares. I'm now going to place the new thermal fuse in the 2 holes and solder that up, and hopefully the DreamCatcher Futura home throw blanket will be up and running again. Let's get soldering this in then. Right, here we are. I've had the The thermal fuse is delivered. We got it here. I need to look at it with a magnifying glass. I don't know whether you can see it. Not very easy to see. Anyway, take my word for it. It's a thermal fuse, 2 amps, 250 volts, and it's 102 degrees centigrade. There we go. Can you see that? Can't really see it, can we? There we are. Right, pull that through. Okay, I've got the iron warm. Hopefully you can see this. Now, as this is a thermal fuse, I'd really want to solder this quite quickly, because putting heat on here, the heat will actually go straight up the wire and thermally trigger the actual replacement thermal fuse I'm putting in. I'm going to chance it. I could put a heat sink the other side, but to be honest it's quite difficult. The idea is to have a particularly hot iron. Well, that's soldered it. So I'm now going to check with my DVM. Let's zoom out on here. Alright, here's my DVM. I'm going to put it on buzzer. And hopefully right, so I haven't blown it. I'll just check that it's soldered. Yep. Now all I've got to do is just clip off the wires. There. Switch the meter off. Okay. Now, on the other side there is a small plastic cap. If we look at this, let's make sure it's still in focus. Seems alright. These two resistors here will pass current and warm up, and I think that's why manufacturers have prudently put this between. I think passing current through the actual fusible thermal fuse doesn't make it heat up, not too much. The blanket is 120 watts, so it's fairly low key, low consumption. These are going to warm up, and I think that's where they actually sense. Now I'm going to clip this over. There we are. So we're on there. Now that is obviously designed, if you look on the end, the actual thermal fuse is fairly close to those resistors, and I suspect that that's what triggers them. I'm going to lift them up a little bit because, to be honest, I don't want that to trigger abnormally. There we are. That's got it central. Now, a way to avoid this blowing prematurely, and I think this one used by my granddaughter, is to have the controller, that's this bit here, not on your lap, and then with the blanket wrapped around your legs, keep your waist and legs warm while you're sitting at a table doing homework, watching the telly. It's going to get abnormally warm because the blanket does get quite warm. So my recommendation is, when this is repaired and all screwed together, with the mains end, that's this end, down at floor level, that will prevent the actual handset controller being warmed up externally by the blanket. Now, before I put this back in its case, we've not really spent much on this repair. So it was a thermal fuse under here, and £2. I bought 5 of them. There's 3 of these blankets in the family. You know, it's possible I may get my money back or not. Just draw your attention, I've spent only £2 on this, and the price for a new controller is £20 plus delivery. So I don't really think there's much point in going any further to the 3 things. There's this fuse here, just point out there. Obviously you can check your wiring around here and there, and buzz the thing out between the live and neutral. This is a live coming in. You could have a look at this 1 microfarad. I checked that and that was fine. I've checked this fuse, it's a wiring fuse. As I say, when you look at this, it's not designed to be repaired, but it's beautifully made. I mean, to be honest, looking at it like this, it's absolutely brilliant. Large scale integration here, not worth repairing unless you're an enthusiast like I am. I enjoy doing things like this. I'm fully qualified, but as I say, be very, very careful on this regarding the fact that there's 240 volts coming in here, no earth on this. I recommend you have an isolation transformer. Now, if you put, it's a positive away from the top here, so if I measure this, I've not really got a lot of room here, but if I just check that, I'll just show you. If you can see the meter, 719 ohm. Obviously, you know, I check this, the fuse there, at 0 ohm. Obviously you expect that, and we've got the thermal fuse this end at 0 ohm. What else have we? There is one other diode here that we can measure. As I say, it's a conventional, not surface mount. That is 597. Anything between 500 and 650 for a diode, that is okay. If I turn it over, there's one more over this side here. There we go, open circuit that way. I check it this way and see if it's conducting, and it is 592. Okay. Personally, I don't think it's worth replacing anything else other than the fuses. Thermal fuse, main fuse. For the price of £20 plus delivery, you get the whole caboose. So now I am going to reassemble this. Well, no, I'm not, because I haven't actually tested it yet. So I am going to plug it in. I'm not going to touch the thing, although I've got, well, there we are. We've got it actually working. The thermal fuse has fixed it. It's plugged into the blanket, and that'll be warming up. So I'm now going to switch off. Don't touch anything, because you might get a bit of charge here. There is a discharge high value resistor across even that one microphone. The other device, that component, is that 1000 microfarad. Just not sure what voltage that is, but it's 1000 microfarad quality item, 105 degrees centigrade, 10 volt working. I'm now going to pop this in. Goes in this way round. Make sure it's unplugged, it's switched off. This is going to go in that way round. LEDs that in. That switch is now going to be in with that switch. Okay, a little bit fiddly. Cable release. As I say, if any of these cables are broken, you'll end up wrecking the actual cable restrainers because they're moulded. So it's all falling apart. Right, let's get that in there. You must line this switch up. Once that switch is lined up, does line up. That needs a clip in there. Hopefully put that on. Right, make sure they're in, either end, this end, and it should all clip together. Alright, that's gone in. Now I'm going to use my screws, and you will need the special screwdriver. Interestingly, I've picked up the 4-way one. This is a 3-way one. I'll just nip that up, do the diagonal one. Okay, just put the last screw in. Alright, and button it up. Just check that they're all tight. Okay. Well, I tested it outside. I'll switch it on. Right, well, it's very bright in here. I don't know whether you can see it, but the LED 7-segment display is lit up in red and green. The temperature 7, high 8, 9, 8, 7. Right. Time, that's the green one lit up, long, there we go. Temperatures 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it's very bright in here. Now I'm going to switch it off. It's gone off. Great. And the blanket is slightly warm. Alright. Oh well, there we go. £2 and it's repaired. Anything else, is up to you. As I say, safety is the most important thing. Don't have it stripped out with its printed board, with it plugged into the mains. Always have it unplugged. And best of luck. Thank you very much for watching this video.